Welcome back as we continue to steamroll through these post-Senior Bowl prospect rankings for the 2023 NFL Draft Class. And this time we're talking about the defensive interior class, and it's going to be a banger, I promise. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It is your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. If you want to, this video will touch up on my top 10. However, you could view my top 20 defensive interior prospects on my Twitter. So go ahead, take a look at that. Give me the follow. I promise I'm a good follow. You won't regret it. But let's go ahead, get into this video with number 10, Karl Brooks out of Bowling Green, 6'3", 303 pounds. Had a very successful season this past year over there for the Falcons with 69 pressures, nice, and 12 sacks. If I told you this guy came into Bowling Green as a 220-pound linebacker, you'd be like, you kidding. 5 years later, 80 pounds heavier, he's sitting here now as a legit day 2 prospect. And what was one of the biggest things for him entering the Senior Bowl was to not only show, hey, I know I played at lower competition, but I belong with these guys, but also he was now moving to the interior. He played 620 of his 20 snaps on the outside, 5 tech or wider. So he just show he can be an interior player, and he did just that. He had an exceptionally good Senior Bowl week. I think he's kind of cemented that status as a day 2 prospect, because at any given time, this guy is the strongest guy on the field. He doesn't look 300. He is in fact 300. That's what the scale came out to there at the Senior Bowl. But he is consistently throwing blockers into the quarterback's lap. I think he's got good burst, good suddenness. He's probably got one of the most scary bull rushes in this class. He can work blockers with one arm while scrapping and scraping at the quarterback or at ball carriers with the other. And his hands are legitimately jarring. Like, I use this a lot, but it's like a brick through a windshield. And what's even better, this guy plays really low to the ground. He really does. So he is constantly winning the leverage battle. Now, not the most bendy guy. That's why he's being viewed as an interior prospect for the NFL. He's just not. While I say he's got good burst for a 300-pounder, that's still good burst for the size. He doesn't have many different pass rush moves, and too often he's just like, oh, me strong, me win with strength, grr. So yeah, he's a bit unpolished in that regard, but I think what you're getting, you're starting from a very good, solid foundation. When it comes to Karl Brooks, he was a guy I was hyping up a few months ago. I was like, hey man, look out for this name. He has a chance to, if he gets to the Senior Bowl, to really make a name for himself. He in fact did. Unfortunately, not enough apparently to get a freaking combine invite. Okay, whatever. That's probably legitimately, he is the biggest snub from the combine. But okay, whatever. His pro day is still going to be lit. But yeah, he's here as a top 100 prospect. I previously had him as a top 100 guy. And I didn't really move him up much. He met my expectations. I was very satisfied with Karl Brooks. On to Keanu Benton here at number 9, 6'3", 312 pounds. Got him as a top 75 prospect. And this previous year, 28 pressures with 6 sacks. Came in with long arms. Had a very good Senior Bowl. Very good. Like, he was super disruptive playing the 3 tech. And in the B gap, and that's kind of like, we didn't get really much of a chance to see that. It was Scanson, as the great T-Pain once said, because he was often playing the nose tackle, and he was often asked to, well, play the run first. So we didn't really ever get a chance to see him go and get after it. But the times he did, he was normally hitting home. So I love that, man. I love his physicality. I love the mentality he brings to the just to each rep, each snap. He's just violent with his hands. He combines that with pretty darn good get off, excellent balance. He uses his hands exceptionally well, and you can kind of see because he's got a wrestling background back in high school, so you can kind of see that in his play and his playing style. He keeps his eyes in the backfield, does a great job of staying in the play. Sure tackler, plays with a hot motor. I think this cat has a chance to go maybe even top 50. I really, really do. Now, he does struggle with getting and maintaining leverage. There are times in the run game he just kind of gets carried out of the play against maybe more technically sound players. Even in the passing game, there are times he's stonewalled because he plays too high. But a lot of those times he's also was playing in the nose tackle. Like, almost 200 of his snaps came in the A gap this past season. I think this cat could be a one gap penetrator because, like, I think his get off is legit. Big fan. I think he did a lot of good for himself this past week. I say this past week, a couple of weeks ago in Mobile. Now on to number 8, Moro Ojomo out of Texas, 6'2", 293, had 26 pressures, 5 sacks this past season. I got him as a top 75 prospect. Didn't get a Senior Bowl invite, but he was at the Shrine. Measured in with over 34-inch arms. That's absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? I thought he looked relatively good at the Shrine. He didn't necessarily like dominated every rep, but they were just reps out there that like no one was making. Like, he's absurdly strong. He's absurdly violent. He's got good versatility to him. He was used in a very versatile way there over at Texas, where he was playing in the B gap, playing 3 tech, 5 tech. There were even some cases he's playing out there like Y9. It kind of insane, but Ojomo, I wouldn't even really call him a bit of a tweener anymore, because I think he was listed at like either 279-ish or 280. He was in that vicinity, got up to 293. And you know what, man? It's good size. That's good size for the NFL. It's still not like a plus percentile, but I mean, you're seeing guys succeed around the 290 to 300 range, so that's fine. He's got a nice full body strength, consistently wins the point of attack, will never be pushed back in the run game, shows good balance, nice strong core strength, and like consistently get in leverage, win in leverage. He doesn't lose where the ball is in the backfield. He shows a variety of different ways to free himself from contact with his hands. Hands are violent. Hands are active. He delivers very definite punches. He's got that pop yanking, or he could yank blockers down. He could swipe hands out from his pads. Like legitimately, the way he uses his hands is just Mamma Mia. Very, very nice. He has experience. His experience really shows just the hand usage, the gap discipline. Like, he just screams, "Oh, this is going to be a very good player. This is going to be a very, very good player." Like, top 100 easy. I got him currently in the top 75. He was kind of a big gainer for me. Not the most explosive, not the twitchiest player. Really relies on how he counters at the point of attack, and he doesn't always bring defenders down when he does get his hands on him. There were also, if you're like going back to like 2020, 2021, he was flagged 11 times during that time, with majority of them being holding calls. But the dude's got I think a high floor, and I kind of think he's ready for the NFL right now. Had a 17.8, essentially 18% win rate, which is really good for a defensive interior prospect. I definitely came away a much bigger fan of Ojomo than I was previously, because I wasn't the hugest fan of him entering. So here you are, number 8. Number 9, we got Poloto out of USC, 6'4", 290. He's a top 75 player for me. If the name sounds familiar, it's because his brother was drafted by the Eagles. Marlon Toi Poloto, his cousin Hufanga, is actually like star safety for the Niners. So he's got family ties to the NFL. He had an exceptionally great year this past season. 56 pressures, 13 sacks. I will say this, a majority of that did come from a 5 wide or further. 610 of his snaps just came over top or outside of the tackle, but the dude's exceptionally quick, and he has the ability to consistently win with leverage on the outside as a pass rusher. He also should translate well. Ideally, it will translate well when he's more than likely going to be playing more interior when it comes to the NFL, but he has strong hands. He's very strong at the point of attack. He won't allow himself to be contained by blockers. He's got some serious pop behind his hands. He does a good job of moving guys in the run game. He hits blockers with a nasty spin move, and we'll get to the spin move in a second when it comes to that and how he decides to disengage from blockers. But yeah, man, like, dude's change of direction's top notch for a guy that's closing in on 300 pounds. Like, I think ideally he's going to be a penetrator in the NFL, whether that's like a 3-tech penetrator probably. This dude just loves to wreak havoc in the backfield. However, he was a bit of a tweener at USC. I kind of mentioned the majority of his reps came over top or outside of the tackle. He does lack length. We'll find out more about that at the combine, see how he measures out. He doesn't really have the bend to win on the outside. And while his power moves are more explosive, and he doesn't really, I guess say, have the longevity to contain, or to like push, drive, move guys off their spot if you can't pop them back and force them to reset with that initial power. And like, honestly, when it like, there's no bull rush to his game, and when it comes to having to disengage from contact, like, he really just has the spin move. So, shoot, at the NFL, man, if they're expecting it, good luck trying to get away with it. So, Toi Poloto, there's a lot to really like about him, but there are a few things that are a bit of projection as of right now. Number 6, Mozzy Smith out of Michigan. 6'3", 337 pounds. Had 25 pressures and a sack this past season. He did make Bruce Feldman's Freaks list. He was actually, in fact, number 1 on Bruce Feldman's Freaks list at the beginning of the year for just being an outstanding combine warrior. Like, I'm expecting this cat to test out exceptionally well, because I think that does a lot for his stock, because if we're going to be frank, the production's just not there when it comes to Mozzy Smith. It just isn't, but he's got tons of strength through his frame. He has the ability to walk interior linemen back into the pocket. He can disengage from blockers at will. He plays with good leverage. He sets an immovable anchor. He stacks and sheds well. He was huge in the run game, causing pileups, or even just he will pursue ball carriers out to the sideline. Like, you love to see it. And if he gets his hands on you, you're almost good as done, man. He had 6% missed tackle rate back in 2021, though. I think he'll likely lack ideal length, but he's probably playing the nose tackle position, so it is what it is. I think his get-off's a bit marginal, but I think that's maybe a bit just of his timing and anticipation at the snap. Like, he's shown the ability to disengage from blockers too, right? But often he just chooses to try to, like, walk them back. And it's like he has the tools to be more disruptive than what his production the last 2 seasons have been, and he just never really had that breakout year. So let's see how he tests out. He might seem like more of a project, really, when it comes to the NFL. But like, if it is true, if he tests out as Bruce Feldman anticipates, then that might, those are tools worth investing in, especially like if you're looking for a nose tackle, especially. And speaking of nose tackles, on to number 5, Siyani Ika out of Baylor, 6'4", 357. He was actually a opt-out of the Senior Bowl. Only 18 pressures this past season, no sacks. But like that 2021 campaign was really, really good for him. Like he's a behemoth of a man, plays with exceptional strength, throws strong blows consistently. He's pushing the pocket. He has a nifty dip move to be able to get himself free and get pressure. He's quicker than you would anticipate. It's just this year he wasn't nearly as disruptive. He actually had the better win rate slightly over a Mozzy Smith, because that's when it comes down to like looking at these two nose tackle prospects. It's like they have the size, they have good tape, just not consistent tape. It's just the consistent production is just not there. It really isn't. Now, like at worst case scenario, these guys are space eaters, right? But Siyani Ika, man, like I said, he's a space eater. He's a guy that's going to demand double teams. He's shown the ability to split double teams. Didn't happen this year. But he's going to be a penetrating nose tackle at the NFL. He's a former LSU guy. If you didn't know, he moved over to join his former defensive coordinator, Dave Aranda, who became Baylor's coach. And it did kind of revitalized his career in 2021, and then 2022 was just kind of like meh. It was kind of that way for Baylor in general. There are times he does play a bit too high, and he gets locked up. He then usually, he will then usually try to push the pocket, but he does lack like the technique to kind of redirect or even stack and shed. So you look at Mozzy Smith, he's a bit more active, I guess you would say, with his hands. But man, like Ika's got moves. He really does. Just didn't really see a lot of that this year. I'm still hesitant just because you look at this class and it's like there's not really a lot of like legit zero techs in this class. So it's like they're kind of few and far between. So especially with their size, and it's like you look at them and it's like, all right, well, these are kind of the premier guys there, so they are going to get pushed up. So currently still have Siyani Ika here. We'll see how I feel after the combine. Number 4, we have Kalijah Canty out of Pitt, 6 foot, 280. Got him currently as a top 50 guy. We'll see how that goes after the combine, but this cat has been just really productive over the course of his career, especially the last 2 seasons. Finished with 9 sacks in 2021, 8 sacks this season, had a 23% pass rush win rate. He's doing this mainly from the B gap as well. 358 of his snaps were in the B gap. Now, the dude has great get off. He wins with relentless hustle. He moves his feet exceptionally quickly, has a unique bend. You see that on stunts. He uses his lack of height to his advantage to get great leverage. He has strong hands. It could be even more dominant if he adds a few more power moves to his repertoire, to his toolbox of pass rush moves. More time than not, he is the first defender in the backfield. He is a pure disruptor, an absolute nightmare in one-on-one situations. I love this dude's movement skills, and he offers up a lot of versatility. However, he's fighting an uphill battle when it comes to size. Like, Pitt lists him at 6 foot. If he comes in sub 6 foot at the combine, that's going to put him in the 0th percentile. There we go. Which means you're kind of hoping he's an absolute outlier to the exception, to the standard you got here. I think people are talking about him at the back end of the first round. He comes in 5'10", 5'11". I don't think that happens. I legitimately don't. Just kind of my opinion. His hand usage honestly does leave a bit to be desired, and he often opts for swatting hands off of him because he's usually just not the first to the point of attack. I think his length also is not going to be that ideal when he measures out there at the combine. I mean, honestly, if he can't penetrate immediately, then he's usually a non-factor in the run game. He can be easily moved in the run game. He has trouble disengaging, so there's gonna be some skeptics, depending on his combine. You might mark me down as one of them. I don't know how much I actually move this guy down my board, but like, especially if you look at him and view him as a situational penetrator, then it's like probably midday 2, third round. That's probably what we're looking at. But hey, combine, we got some time. As of now, he's currently number 4. And then at number 3, I have Aditamiwa Adibiaria out of Northwestern, 6'1", 284. Now the big difference, because I know people are gonna be like, oh well, can't see. He's 6'0", 280. It's like, okay, well, we actually have the current measurements for Adibiaria. Also on top of that, ridiculous length, legitimately ridiculously disgusting length. 34-inch arms. It ain't a problem. He came in and like, okay, straight up, he at the Senior Bowl, he played more inside, and to be fair, he was used in a very versatile role there at Northwestern, where he was playing anywhere between like the B gap to like over top the tackle to even outside of the tackle. But like he came, played a majority on the inside, looked apart. There is legitimately a you could probably find it on Twitter, a rep of him going one-on-one with Jared Patterson, and him taking him 10 to 15 yards back on a power move. That's the thing, man. This dude has nice strength, nice versatility. I think he's got a little stank to his step, a little burst. Like his athletic profile, I think legit's going to turn heads at the combine, and he's already turning heads. Like he's shown a really good pass rush upside this past season. 31 pressures, 6 sacks. He explodes off the line, uses his power, uses his length. He's got a really good bull rush. He plays with a hot motor, shows no give up in pursuit. And honestly, he kind of remedied this past season. One of my biggest critiques of him going into the year was his struggles in the run game. And he was much more solid of a run defender and looked like he just played run fits a whole lot better. He didn't really he didn't have as much difficulty disengaging. Like typically he would rely on a spin move, but now he found a variety of more ways to break free from blockers. I will say there's times he doesn't take the best angles on ball carriers. Went out in space, kind of is what it is, but like you just look at the length and you look at the physical, or at least the athletic upside, then it's like this is the undersized player I'm willing to bet on. If we're talking about Kalijah Canty and Aditamiwa Adibiaria, this is the cat I'm betting on. Got him as a top 50 prospect. And then number 2, Bryan Brazee out of Clemson, 6'5", 305. Let's just go ahead and get talking about some of the holdups people have. He hasn't really had, like, since his freshman season, he really hasn't built off of that year. He had 26 pressures, 4 sacks in his freshman year. Saw more time this season, but 24 pressures, 3 sacks. So he basically matched his production his freshman season. People will bring up injury concerns, right? Okay, let's run through it. Why don't we? All right. So he had the ACL injury his sophomore year, where he played 4 games, got hurt, didn't play the rest of the season. This season, he had a kidney infection. What injury concerns are there? Oh, what does he have, another ACL injury I don't know about? Is there like, does he have like a kidney disease I'm unaware of? Like, okay, whatever. And then we could talk about the downtick in production, as he had the kidney infection this season, caused him to miss a game. He missed 2 games because of the death of his sister from cancer. The dude had a lot on his plate this year. Like, by the end of the year, man, he was running on all cylinders, man. He really was. Both or really in that ACC championship game, man. He looked really, really good. People will say, oh, he does a whole lot of nothing. Well, I mean, this year he did open up a lot of production for guys like KJ Henry and Jeremiah Trotter. Like, he was a bit of a can opener on this defensive line. Like, people need to give this cat some credit. And on top of that, he's got legit tools. Like, he plays with a good motor. He's way more than just a high effort player. Like, he's got great length. He's really quick to the point of attack. You love the foot speed. He combines that with his length. He is just consistently pushing guys back into the pocket. He kind of dictates the line of scrimmage. Like, good luck moving this guy off his anchor. He really doesn't blink when facing double teams either. And like, if we're really gonna pick and poke, man, maybe someone would be like, well, he didn't really return to form after the ACL injury. And it's like, I think by the end of the year, man, he was running hot, man. He was looking good. There are times where there are times, like, even when tied up, like, he'll get tied up, he'll kind of lose track of where the ball is in the backfield, but he's just so tough to keep a hold of. Like, he'll break free quite often, but it's a matter of positioning himself to be able to make plays. He needs to do a better job tracking the ball in the backfield, but like, he's got tools teams will be willing to bet on. He really does. So like, I don't know, man. I don't get why people aren't as, like, to talk about him outside of the first round, I think is a bit ludicrous. That's just my opinion. Number 1, Jalen Carter. He's a top 5 prospect. That's it. There we go. 6'3", 300 pounds, had 32 pressures, 3 sacks this year. The sack number might not be that high for you, but he was just continuously dominant. 16.3% win rate. He plays with power. He plays with leverage. Good luck getting this guy off his anchor. He sacks and sheds exceptionally well. He literally dictates the line of scrimmage by himself. Nasty swim move. He's explosive. I love the get off. Quick feet. He combines that with rare bend for the interior. He is just consistently winning on stunt moves. He never quits on plays, and he plays with a hot motor each and every play. There are times, okay, he gets checked by double teams, then cool. If he has to take up 2 guys, then he's likely freeing up someone else. But even this year, he was doing a great job of splitting double teams. Go look at the Tennessee game where he did that. Split a double team, scared the running back out of the way, and then just rocked Hendon Hooker. Like, Carter is a blue chip prospect. He's going to the top 5. He's going to the top 4. Pretty confident he's going to the top 3. But that's it for the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing as always. Until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.